Hey, Salida Vineyard. I wanted to send out a video explaining our plan for volunteer recruitment, training, and scheduling in 2021. In the next week, if you volunteer in our worship ministry, our kids ministry, or our hospitality ministry, which right now includes like our COVID check-in and cleaning teams, you're going to start receiving requests from us to commit to a color-coded volunteer system that we will be using in 2021. Let me explain the color-coded system. So we've done this here in the past at the Salida Vineyard, and we're going to reinstitute that. We think it'll help resolve some of the volunteering conflicts we've been having. So we're going to have a red, yellow, green, blue team. We'll also have a purple team for months that have 5 Sundays in them. That'll happen 4 times in 2021. We will recruit people for the purple teams separately and outside this system. So the red team, they're committing to serve on the first Sunday of the month. The yellow team is committing to serve on the second Sunday of the month. The green team is committing to serve on the third Sunday of the month, and the blue team on the 4th Sunday of the month. So this means a couple of new things as we enter 21. The first is we are asking all of our volunteers in the church to only serve in a specific ministry once a month. Okay, so if you're in the worship ministry team, whether you're a musician, a singer, you serve in the sound booth, or you do projection, we are asking you to commit to 1 week a month. If you're in kids ministry, we are asking you to commit to a particular classroom once a month on one of these teams. If you would like to volunteer multiple times a month in the church, what we would ask is I'm a kids volunteer, and I'm on the worship team, and I'm on the hospitality team. Okay, well, that's a lot, but what we would say is I'm the red team for worship, I'm the yellow team for kids ministry, and I'm on the green team for hospitality. That will eliminate conflicts with, I got scheduled on red week with worship and with kids ministry, and I have to bail on one of them. Not where we want everybody to commit to one thing. Secondly, it is our goal that every member of the Salida Vineyard serves in a ministry at least once a month. Sometimes, when people, so like if I'm on the worship team and I serve on red, yellow, and green week, and we have new people, new potential worship team members, new volunteers that are coming into our recruiting and training system, well, they come to church and watch and see, we have a worship team every week. Is there room for me to be the guitar player on the yellow team? Is there room for me to be the bass player on the green team? It can appear to people like there's no space for new volunteers. So we want to make room for that. Also, our goal is not to burn out volunteers. So our really the heart of our desire asking people to only serve once a month is we want you to serve and help the church accomplish her goals, but we don't want to burn you out, and we want to make room for new volunteers in the process so we can continue to grow and give people opportunities to serve God. Additionally, in 2021, we are going to make a push to align all of our ministries. So, literally every ministry we do, if people volunteer in it, we're going to ask those volunteers to participate and go through our safety and security training. In the past, we have just done safety and security training in kids and youth ministry. So what this means is, we have a video-based training that we take our kids ministry volunteers through. Well, we want all volunteers in the church to go through that training. That means we're going to ask all of our volunteers to submit to a criminal background check as part of the equipping and onboarding process in our ministries. Now, I want to say a couple of things about that. I think everybody in the church has experienced God's grace in healing over our past. Sometimes that past and that healing has included criminal activity, criminal behavior, criminal punishment of some form, to the point where, like, if we did a background check, it would show up on a background check. There are some ministries in our church that we have limitations and restrictions on who can participate as volunteers. So, kids ministry and youth ministry are special in that way that if people have committed certain crimes in their past, they can't volunteer with kids. They can't be around kids, and it might even be a legal requirement that they can't be around kids. Many of our ministries in our church, this is not a hindrance to, though. So, in worship and hospitality and outreach, like those kinds of ministries, we are not going to necessarily limit or restrict people from participating because they had a DUI. But if you had a DUI 6 months ago, like, we're not going to recruit you to volunteer to drive our youth group to camp. I just want to make that clear. But what this is going to include, I think, as we move forward, is we are going to, and by we, I mean the elders, the ministry team leaders, we're really going to be clarifying in 2021 what ministries do have limitations and restrictions on them. And if everybody is going through the same process, doing a background check, that will allow us to have conversations with people that might be limited or restricted in what ministries they can volunteer in. And we will start that conversation, we'll set up a ministry plan. It will be very relational, where we are just talking with one another and saying, okay, we would love for you to participate in our hospitality ministry. But because of this thing in your background, you're not going to be able to participate in kids ministry or youth ministry at this time. I hope that really makes sense to people. This is part of, the transition of me being the pastor here and trying to bring some systems into place that will really help us move forward, make room for new volunteers, and really minister to the current volunteers and the people who this might have been fuzzy for. I mean, this is notoriously difficult for churches to manage and lead well in this area, where we're saying there's limitations, there's restrictions. And that's notoriously hard to do, and it causes a lot of conflict, and it really can put people in awkward positions if it's not done well. And so we want to do this really well. We want to do it relationally, and we want to do it with a lot of grace. And I commit to you to do that, okay? So, all that said, be looking for an email in the next week. If you're a kids ministry volunteer and you're on our list, we're going to be sending out an email asking you to commit to a classroom and one of the colors. Okay? And my goal is to have this locked into place before we reopen for in-person services again. If we're going to, send it out via email first, try to capture as much as we can electronically, then we're going to follow up. So if we haven't heard from you, expect a phone call from either me or Ellen, probably in the next couple of weeks to go, hey, you are a kids ministry volunteer, or you're a hospitality ministry volunteer, or you're a worship ministry volunteer. And we are setting up our volunteer schedule for 2021. Are you willing to commit to one Sunday a month? And so we will then follow up by phone. I really want to be clear that, we are self-limiting in some ways. So like with kids ministry, if we don't have a full red team, a full yellow team, a full green team, and a full blue team in all of our classrooms, we are not going to come back to the volunteers and say, hey, can you volunteer twice a month, 3 times a month so we can have all these classrooms? What we are going to do is we're going to keep our process going and inviting new volunteers in. And when we have a yellow team for Black Bear, we'll have ministry in Black Bear. When we have a green team in Black Bear, we'll have ministry in a green team. This is especially true for middle school and high school ministry and garage band. Right now we currently don't have anybody committed to do a Sunday school class for middle school and high school kids. So what we're going to do is do we have some people that want to commit to red team? All right, we've got garage band on the first Sunday of the month. Do we have people that will commit to a yellow team? Okay, we've got garage band the first and second Sundays of the month. We are not going to go to a team and say, hey, we don't have enough volunteers right now, so we need you to be in Sunday school every Sunday of the month. That's a big commitment on my part. And it might feel awkward at first if you're used to volunteering a lot because there's a need. And I think I'm really committed to this process that we're going to create opportunities and allow new volunteers and new people, new members of our church to come in and fill those spots and grow our volunteer base. My goal would be to have 90% minimum of our church serving in a ministry at least one time a month, okay? I'm excited about this. I think it's going to help us. It's going to be one of the things in 2021 that really get us on track for where the Salida Vineyard's going. So be looking for an email. If you don't see the email, answer the phone when I call you, and let's get this schedule set up for 2021, okay? Love you guys, and I'll see you later.